Hello everyone, welcome back to Carnivorous Plants Hub. Today is a really exciting day because we're finally taking the Venus flytraps out of the refrigerator after almost 4 months of dormancy. Spring is just around the corner, which means the growing season is about to begin. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I do when bringing flytraps out of dormancy, how I check their health, how I repot them, and how I slowly acclimate them back to light exposure so they can start growing again. And make sure you stick around until the end of the video, because I'm also going to share some lighting recommendations and show you exactly where I'm putting these plants while they wake up from dormancy. Alright, let's open this bag and see how they're doing after 4 months in the fridge. Here's the first one. This is just a typical Venus flytrap, and honestly it actually looks like it's in pretty good shape. You can see the plant is still nice and green, and if you look closely near the rhizome, the bases of the leaves are really white. That's completely normal after dormancy. When a Venus flytrap spends months in the refrigerator, it's basically been deprived of light the entire time, so these pale colors are exactly what we expect to see. What I really like to check first is the rhizome, and this one looks really solid and healthy, nice and white, no soft spots. I'm also looking for mold or mildew, which can sometimes happen during refrigerator dormancy, but I'm not really seeing any signs of that here. The roots actually look pretty decent too. So overall, this is a really healthy looking plant, and I'm pretty confident this one is going to come out of dormancy with no problems at all. Next up we have the A2-faying. Just like the first plant, this one actually looks pretty good overall. You can see that the base of the plant is a little bit more white, which again is totally normal after spending months in the dark refrigerator. If we take a closer look at the rhizome, it's nice and white and still looks really healthy. That's exactly what we want to see coming out of dormancy. I'm also noticing a little bit of new growth starting to pop up, but you can tell it's extremely light deprived. The traps are really pale and stretched, which makes sense since it's been sitting in the dark for almost 4 months. Now over here you can see some of the old dead growth, and this is where we're starting to see a little bit of mold forming. This is actually a really good example of why it's important to check on your flytraps periodically during refrigerator dormancy and trim away dead growth when you see it. Removing that dead material helps prevent mold from spreading to the healthy parts of the plant. But overall, this plant still looks really healthy, and I'm not seeing anything here that concerns me, so both of these flytraps are looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and get them potted up and start getting them ready for the growing season. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need when bringing Venus flytraps out of dormancy is the right planter and a good quality substrate. Now the mix you use is really important with carnivorous plants. They need a nutrient-poor, well-draining substrate, and the planter needs to be something that's safe for carnivorous plants. To make things easier, I actually put together premium repotting kits that you can get over at carnivorousplanthub.com. I offer 2 different sizes, one that's perfect for smaller flytraps and another designed for larger, mature plants. In this video, I'm going to pot these 2 flytraps in one of each, so you can see exactly how both sizes work. One thing that makes my substrate a little different is the preparation that goes into it. Every batch is rinsed before it's shipped, and I also take the time to sift out debris and unwanted material, so you're getting a really clean, high-quality mix right out of the bag. I've also perfected a blend of peat moss, perlite, and crushed glass that creates an ideal balance between root aeration and moisture retention, giving Venus flytraps the conditions they need to thrive. I'm pretty confident it's some of the best substrate you'll find for carnivorous plants, anywhere. But don't just take my word for it. If you head over to carnivorousplanthub.com, you can check out hundreds of reviews from other growers who are using these kits with their plants. Let's go ahead and start potting these flytraps up. Before we go any further, I want to point out that this is not a full repotting tutorial. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about the repotting process in this video. If you need help repotting your Venus flytrap the right way, I actually have a complete step-by-step repotting guide, and I'll have that video pop up at the end so you can check it out after this one. Now these 2 flytraps were kind of right in the middle size-wise. Either one of them could have gone into the larger planter or the smaller planter. At this point, it really just comes down to personal preference. The smaller planter uses less substrate and is usually a little easier to manage, but the larger planter gives the plant more space to grow and develop a bigger root system. So there are pros and cons to both options, and neither one is really wrong. The smaller planter might need to be repotted a little sooner, while the larger planter can often last a couple of years before you need to upgrade it. Now let's talk about what to do after you get them potted up, because this part is really important. What you do next actually depends on where you live. If you live in an area where temperatures are consistently staying above freezing overnight, you can go ahead and start putting your fly traps outside. But there's one really important thing to keep in mind. These plants have been sitting in a dark refrigerator for months, which means they are going to be extremely sensitive to sunlight. You cannot just throw them straight into full sun. If you do, they'll likely burn, and in some cases, the plant may not survive. Instead, you want to slowly acclimate them to sunlight. I like to start with about 2 hours of direct sun per day, and then move them into bright indirect light for the rest of the day. As the plant adjusts, you'll notice the stalks near the rhizome starting to turn a little red. That's completely normal, and actually a good sign that the plant is adapting to the light. Red coloration is fine as long as you're not seeing burning. If you start seeing brown edges on the leaves, that's usually a sign the plant is getting too much sun too quickly. If everything looks healthy and you're just seeing a little bit of reddening, you can increase the sunlight to about 4 hours per day after a week or two. Keep them at 4 hours for another week or two, and then gradually increase the exposure by a couple of hours at a time. Eventually, your goal is to get them into full sun for most of the day. In the long run, Venus flytraps really thrive outdoors in full sun, where they can grow strong and catch insects naturally. Now on the flip side, I live up here in North Idaho, and it's a completely different situation. It's March right now, and over the last couple of days we've gotten about a foot of snow, and it's still coming down. This is literally what it looks like outside my house right now. So obviously it wouldn't make much sense for me to pull my fly traps out of dormancy and immediately put them outside in the snow. Instead, I'm going to keep them under grow lights for now. I'll leave them under the lights until nighttime temperatures are consistently staying above freezing. Once I'm confident the temperature isn't going to drop below freezing overnight, then I'll move them outside into full sun. But for now, the best move is to keep them inside under artificial lighting. So let me show you a couple really good grow light options that can help your fly traps bridge the gap until the outdoor growing season starts. The first one here is a Sansi grow bulb. This is a 24-watt full spectrum bulb, and if you only have one Venus flytrap, this is usually more than enough light. It uses a standard E26 socket, so you can screw it into pretty much any normal lamp you already have. This bulb also comes in a 36-watt version, which would be a better option if you have 2 or 3 fly traps that need light. Sansi is actually one of my favorite companies for Venus flytrap lighting. Their bulbs last a long time, they're reliable, and they're a really simple way to give your plants enough light until the sun comes back. Another really good option is a Sansi clip-on grow light. Each bulb here is 10 watts, and generally you want at least 20 total watts to properly light a Venus flytrap. You can get this clip light in 1, 2, 3, or 4 bulb versions. This one here has 4 bulbs, so it provides about 40 watts of total light. If you only have one plant, the 2 bulb version would be perfectly fine. If you have several plants, maybe 3 to 5 fly traps, the 4 bulb option is probably what I'd recommend. One thing I really like about this light is that it clips onto almost anything, which makes it really versatile. Each neck is also fully adjustable, so you can bend and position the lights exactly where you want them. If you're interested in these lights, I do have links in the description. Sansi also gave me an exclusive discount code for viewers. If you use the code BUGEATER25 at checkout, you'll get 25% off your order. I recommend these lights to my viewers because they work really well, but I also use them myself for my own plants. Now let me show you where these fly traps are going. This is the grow tent in my garage, where all of my Venus flytraps and Sarracenia are currently finishing their dormancy. The tent is set up so the temperature never drops below about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which keeps the plants safe during winter. For now, I'm going to place these flytraps away from the lights. They'll still get some light in here, but I don't want them sitting directly under the grow lights just yet. In a couple of weeks, if they look like they're adjusting well, I'll slowly move them closer to the lights. Right now, the lights in this tent run for about 8 hours per day to help these fly traps and Sarracenia ease back into the growing season. If you want to learn exactly how to repot a Venus flytrap step by step, check out the video popping up on your screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in the next video.